What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of EdgeWorks Knife Studio. Today I'm going to, in all honesty, do like a little filler because I'm working on some other videos, but I did want to do a Morihei progression, and I'd mentioned that at some time ago. So I'm going to do that today. I actually have a knife that needs touched up. It's one of my many favorites. As you guys have heard me say, it's one of my favorites a million times. It's a Yoshimitsu Aogami Super Santoku. Really good knife. Got it from knifejapan.com. Not sponsored or anything like that. I paid full price for it. Michael, great guy. If you're looking for a Japanese knife, I checked prices a little bit today. He seems to be the exact same prices they were before any of the tariff stuff happened. Now, I don't know if you bought one from there what the import fees would be. If there are any, I'm assuming there are. Those aren't listed that I can see. So if you're interested in it though, knifejapan.com. Michael's a great guy. He'll answer all your questions. I am working on some, like I said, some other videos. I have some stuff coming too that's going to be, in my mind, revolutionary as far as the fixed angle stuff goes. But what I remember with the cheaper cut system, I called it the fixed freehand. I'm going to demo a system against the cheaper cut by KMFS. So this thing has the ability where you can clamp anywhere and it will maintain a 100% consistent angle similar to their Vanta Edge fixed angle system. You can clamp the knife anywhere, take it out, check it, clamp it in a completely different spot, and you'll still maintain your perfect edge angle. So this system is kind of like the cheaper cut where it's a freehand assisted and it allows you to maintain the angle. So anyway, that's just a brief introduction to that, just to what I'm working on and some stuff like that. Cheaper cut did tell me, by the way, they're sending me a 200 grit and some higher grits that will be available really soon. Actually, they should be in their Amazon warehouse, I would imagine, in the next couple weeks. And they're going to set me up with a link, and you guys can get a discount. It also helps the channel too. So I'll be looking forward to that. AVER is currently still running a sale on their website. I'll post a link down below to the grinding machine if anyone's interested in that still, but you can also get other stuff with a great discount for the site-wide code that will also be available in the description and the pinned comment. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get you over here, show you the stones. Since this just needs touched up first, as well as I'm going to progress higher, just because, right, I wanted to do it. I haven't used the 9,000 really, like I said before, and I've not used the 6,000 ever. So I wanted to go ahead and do that, but we're going to start with the Morihei 1000 here. As we know from previous videos, and if you haven't seen previous videos, I'll tell you now, the Morihei stones are a mix of natural stone and synthetic stone. These stones are, they're not like mega fast cutters. So if anyone gets one and it doesn't cut like super crazy fast, like for example a Chaucer or whatever, I don't want you to get upset, because that's not what these are about. These cut really well, but they're more of an excellent polishing stone, a great Kasumi stone, as well as they do a really good job at a refined edge. So since this is not a diamond stone or anything like that, that's why I'm going to go ahead and use the Aogami 2. This knife is at a 63 to 64 Rockwell hardness. Great knife. Maintains a wonderful edge, but has been used for quite some time. So I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, I'm going to tune it up. We're going to kick it up to the 9,000 grit Karasu. I like saying it that way, even if it's not right. Which is one of the most beautiful stones I've ever laid eyes on next to some of my naturals. Like I said, this is a 9,000 grit. So I'm super excited. I may cut this video up a little bit depending on how long it runs. But we'll just cut off some of the middle parts of the sharpening. So it's flash and go stones, as we know. Let's just get it going. I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Let you guys hear this for a second. Anyway, I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. Man, what a great feel, too. This is very velvety. Morihei stones are just super smooth. I was gone for Thanksgiving, which is why I didn't release a video over the weekend. And I was in a spot that I didn't really have like the greatest connection, as well as I just needed to kind of rest and relax a little bit. So I just chilled in Tennessee, in a little place called Sparta, Tennessee. It's a nice little place. And we got back Sunday. So unpacked and all that good fun stuff. But we did our own little Thanksgiving, just ourselves. It's nice to get away like that, you know. Kind of refresh and recharge. I'd be interested to hear about you guys this Thanksgiving, and if you had to sharpen anybody's knives, or, you know, because that's always something you have to do, right? Gotta kind of give this little swoop because of the slight curvature there. Check for our little burr, little baby burr. The crazy thing about these Moriheis, and I've mentioned it, if you guys that are watching saw the other video, if not, I'll explain. The Moriheis from like the 500 to the 1000, it's hard to see how much progress you're making with the metal buildup, or not buildup, but the metal being removed, because it blends in with the color really well. The higher in the grit you go, the lighter the colors get. It's easier to see. And it's not that you can't see it, but like, you know, on a Syrax or a Chaucera, you can see it right away. It contrasts with the color of the stone in a pretty big way. These, not so much. So we have a burr that has formed. We just have some spots that just kind of need a little extra attention. But because of the nature of the type of stone and this steel, I'm going to do more than I would, obviously, if I was using a diamond stone. I'm very excited about the Cheaper Cut 200 grit. I cannot wait to see how that thing performs. Oh, another piece of information that I think is good, and actually I want to pause real quick. This is good to tell you face to face, face to camera anyway. Whetstone has reached out to me, and I mean, I keep contact with them. So they are getting ready to release their Splash and Go series. You guys may have remembered me talking about them before. They gave them to me, you know, months ago, that were the Japan only release called the RIN, R-I-N series. I got them sitting up here. The 10,000 grit, for example, is one of their RIN series. Oop, can't really see that. And, well, let me just do it this way. Why fight it, right? So there you go, RIN. The good news is they're getting ready to release that series in the US market, sending it to Amazon. They're going to be full-size stones. So for those of you that didn't like the smaller size of the Fukami, they're going to be larger stones. But also in the Fukami series, they're releasing the 300 grit, full-sized, and a super thick stone. They're sending them to me to check out, so I'm going to demo them for you. I'm super excited because that's going to answer a lot of you guys' requests, because not only have you requested the Splash and Go alt stone, but you've requested the larger sizes. So I was talking with them about it, and they heard you guys, and they are going to fulfill it. Super exciting. Man, just like butter. Okay, we have a really nice burr. I'm going to go ahead and call it for that side. We're going to go ahead and switch. Wipe this off real quick. Excellent. All right. How many of you stuffed yourselves silly with turkey and ham and pie? You'll be shocked probably to know that since we didn't do a traditional Thanksgiving, I actually made ribeyes for Thanksgiving. That was my Thanksgiving treat. Last year we did something kind of crazy too. We actually ate fish. We went to my wife's friend in Virginia Beach, and they had, she wanted to eat fish for some reason for Thanksgiving, so we had fish. Okay. So this knife, and I noticed this whenever I sharpened it for the first time, quite some time ago. It came with what appeared to be a little bit of a grind mistake, and not really a mistake, but that's probably not focusing, and I apologize. But the actual bevel itself is thicker. You know, there's more of a bevel for the edge than there is here. So I'm just kind of letting it fix itself as I go. I'm not going to chase it, you know. It doesn't really hurt anything. It's just aesthetically, for me, having OCD drives me crazy. But that's fine. It'll eventually even out if you just keep sharpening it evenly. And don't put too much emphasis on the back side versus the, the spot that's, you know, smaller. It'll eventually all come around. Man, such a good stone. Yeah, it's just abnormally large. It kind of bothers me. But that's okay. I'm not that worried about it. I'm lying. I am. It's going to eat me up, but I am not going to chase it, like I said. Looks good, though. Looks good. Our burr has been successfully flipped completely over. I'm excited to work on the 4000 and the 6K. Well, the 9K too, but that's the star of the show. Oof. Appreciate those of you that did go and buy one of those AVER grinders. There's several of you that did. That's awesome. I hope that you guys enjoy them. Okay, we are good. That's about equal. I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to do a real quick couple of passes, like stropping strokes here. Wait a minute. Let me double check something here. Yeah, we're good. We look just the same. Just some strokes to remove the burr. I'm not really looking for massive burr minimalization because I'm going to continue. We did pull some burr off. Good. But we'll be continuing on the 4K, so which is coming up now. Okay, all right. I'm gonna remove this stone, put the 4K up, take this one over to the drying station, as I call it. It's literally just a contractor, two contractor pencils that make a stack. Let me have my moment. It's a drying rack. Gosh, I got stuff I forgot about over here. Okay, it's 4K time. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on the 4K. I'm going to do most of the prep work on the 6K, but I did want to get a little bit of 4K time. I want you guys to hear it, and I wanted to hear the difference between this and the 6K, so just double checking my bevels. Man, that edge is super, super bitey too. I'm curious on whether or not we're going to lose bite moving over to the 6 and 9K, or even the 4K, honestly. Moriheis, though, for me, have always been pretty bitey as far as their finishes go. So as long as your technique is good and you deburr properly, or just deburr thoroughly, really. All right, let's listen to it. Just like glass. So honestly, if I were to compare it right now, you guys are going to think I'm crazy because I do this a lot, but if I compared it to anything that I'm extremely familiar with, and that you guys would be familiar with, that feels like a King 4,000, 6,000 stone. As far as that feel goes, you know, that kind of a clay matrix, I want to say soft. It's not really a soft stone, but it has that feel. It's a ceramic-y, but soft ceramic feel. It's very unique. Man, it has already shined that bevel too. Man, that edge is just glistening. Man, that's awesome. I'm just going to focus on long strokes right now for this one. I'll do a little bit, like, for the back. I'm not putting on very much pressure either. I would say light, light moderate, basically. So at the far end of light, the very beginning of moderate. There's a super tiny little burr, which I expect, especially with the higher grit. As you can see here, the Morihei, it like wipes off easy. As far as the loading goes, it does load a little, but not bad. The Moriheis, they're just excellent stones all the way around. So you probably can't see this because of the GoPro, but that edge bevel is just glistening. Like, that's just beautiful. All right, we'll go this side. And again, like I said, I'm going to spend more time on the 6K and the 9K. Now, normally I would not take this knife up to 9,000 grit. And depending on how it performs, I may take it back down. But I wanted to do it. Just giving a little touch here. Okay. Nice little burr. Man, it's so quiet. I mean, can you guys hear how quiet that is? I mean, what are your thoughts right now? Just based on what you have heard between the 1K and the 4K. And then versus other things you've heard me do or you do or whatever. What are your thoughts? Like, did you expect it to be that quiet, or what did you expect, you know? I don't know what that was. Piece of burr. I'll be dang. I hate when that happens. Because this is such a minimal burr, I'm not even going to worry about deburring it. This is a stone that if you're not careful and you don't have your technique right and you get in a hurry, you will cut and gouge this stone. So, and again, it's not soft, but it's not bulletproof, you know what I mean? It's probably softer than, well, I don't even know. It's soft. It's hard and soft. That's just the best way to put it. It's hard to explain. You'd have to feel it to know what I'm talking about. It's not going to disintegrate. It's not some hard stone. I'm sorry, not some super soft stone that's going to disintegrate. But it's also soft to get gouged. That's a good way to put it, I guess. Like if I took this knife, and I hate doing this, but honestly, that didn't even really gouge it either. Maybe it's just the top surface. I don't know. Hard to explain. Okay. Go on to the 6 now. Like I said, I've never used the 6. This is my first time. Yeah, I don't know why I'm having a hard time explaining the soft, hard, but it's just one of those things you'd have to experience. I need to start that box pass, and then where you guys can, you know, join the mailing list, get on it, and maybe I'll send that 4K around for you guys to experience. All right. Morihei 6000. As you can see, the back is fresh, never touched. Obviously the front either. I always do the back because I like to leave those decals and stuff on the print and stuff on the front. Okay. Let's see what this sounds like. I always think there's a coating on mini stones, honestly, because I can feel something. It might just be that stone, though. I don't know. But some stones I feel may have a coating, like a protective layer, not necessarily wax or anything, but something. And this kind of feels like it has like slick spots and then like rough, catchy spots, but this could also just be this particular stone. But let's just see what happens. First little stroke here. Oh my God. Holy cow. This is insane. Oh my God, that's amazing. I may need to bust out the rust eraser. That feels insane. Wow. I don't know. That is the smoothest stone yet that I've ever used. They have a 12K, just like the 9K. It's shorter, it's meant for razors. And I wonder what that thing would be like. Like my Mayo, whatever you say, however you say, I don't know. Somebody made fun of me today for how I said it. The 20,000 grit GKM or GK whatever, I don't know. I think that's less smooth than this as far as the feel goes. Clearly it's a 20,000 grit stone, right? I'm not knocking it in any way, but like this just feels, I don't know, like you're gliding on rolls, like rollers, you know? I'm just trying to see if I can get this out of here without using the rust eraser. If I rub it enough, I can, it looks like. It doesn't seem to be affecting anything because I got a little bitty burr. Mostly all the way. But I mean, you can hardly hear it. Let's do it again. I'll be quiet. I'm just like mumbling and stuff anyway. It's a decent amount of pressure to try and get some sound. I'll do it quietly because all this shaking and stuff. Here. Let's do this. This is dangerous for my microphone. I don't know how that picked up or how it picked up, but I'm very curious now in post. I'm about to listen to it myself. No, sorry for the noise, guys. Clipping it back on. All right, I got a little baby burr. I need to check without wet fingers. I'll give a couple more quick passes here just to even that out. I'll do this too. Because I don't want to contaminate the integrity of the stone surface, I'm going to wait to use the rust eraser until I'm done. And I don't think it's going to affect its cutting ability anyway, because this is more polishing. It is, like I said, raising a small burr, but I mean, this is more of just edge refinement. You know, I think that's the number one problem with people that start out sharpening, and myself including, like many moons ago, I thought higher grit automatically meant sharper, right? Like, I don't need to focus too much on the 1000 grit or the lower grits or whatever, because I thought that my sharpness was coming from these higher stones, these higher grits. They're not. You know, they are refining your edge. They are, you know, making it better as you go, but it's just refinement of what you've already created. Man, I'd love to see what this thing does on a like a polish on the flats, on the bevels there, or a single bevel actually. I could bust out my Nagaba. I think I'll do a single bevel video because I've got a Deba, however you want to say it. I don't know how you say it. I suck at pronunciations, in case you guys haven't figured that out. But it needs some attention. It doesn't need attention. It's brand new. I've never done anything to it. I've cut paper, but I want to polish it up, and I want to make it the best it could possibly be. We're getting ready to move to the 9K because the burr on this is set. I felt it on this side too, so I mean, it's this for a 6K. I can't believe it's cutting the way that it is. Thursday is my birthday, and I plan to spend it doing some refinements to my recording setup. I need to get that Blackmagic camera mounted so I can start using it. And I can start doing the color corrections and stuff that better than I do with the GoPro. Okay, that's significantly loaded. I don't know if loaded is the right word, because it's still doing, I mean, this thing created an amazing burr on this side, even though I'm, you know, you're flipping them over back and forth, but still, that burr felt a little bit bigger than the other side, so. Man, that just looks insane. It's just shining. So real quick, let's just see how quickly it comes off with our rust eraser. I mean, we know this thing works. And I'll probably lap this thing just for a good measure later. And there we go. That's another thing that happens too, is your fingerprints, they show up real good on these Morihei stones. All right, let's go for the 9K, baby. I'm gonna go dry this guy, put him over here on my fancy dancy drying rack. The 6000 grit I got from Chef's Edge. It's an Australian company. They had a really good price. I think actually it was a Black Friday deal last year, if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong, but that sounds about right. Because ordering from Australia, even back then, shipping was like minimum $20, and for whatever reason, they had free shipping. So I took them up on it, and I got it for like $60. You get a Morihei for $60. That's hard to beat. All right, the 9000 Karasu, however you say it. Make fun of me, guys. Just my pronunciation of words that aren't English, and sometimes that are English, are not the greatest all the time, anyway. All right. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. What do we think this is going to sound like? I have not done more than a couple quick strokes, and then I think I may have thought that there was a coating on this and may have used the rust eraser to try and make sure, which is why there's some fading here. But this was somewhat faded when I got it anyway. Not used, but like it was just a light stamp. So just FYI. So I've barely put a pass or two on this thing. I don't even remember what it sounded like, felt like. But this is the moment of truth. I'm going to dry this off real fast. I'm going to feel this edge with my fingers just to see if we have bite. It does still seem like it has that bite. I'm trying to just lightly hold it, and it's caught. And yeah, it's shaving off my nail. So we are still in great territory with that. All right, let's see what we got. Let's listen in. Interesting. It almost, to me, I'm going slow here. It almost seems to be slightly louder than the 6K. I can tell you, it still feels amazing. It still has that same King 6000, feel. Let me get that out of there. Amazingly enough, I've got a little burr. And again, we're flipping over burrs, you know. But yeah, completely. It's very tiny now. A few more passes here. We'll go to the other side and we'll test her out. This is a super awesome stone. I bet the 6K is plenty. Of course, I'll do a microscope edge for you guys. So for those that are listening in for cut tests and all that, I'll let you know when the time comes. That metal's probably like so shiny that it'll blind pilots from the ground. Just a couple more swipes here. Okay. It kind of has that soft feel too, like I was talking about with the 4K, right? But a little bit more hard than the 4K. And again, I hate saying it because the 4K is not soft, but it's soft. So that's your confusion for today. Man, that thing is just glistening. Man, I wish that would kind of pick up. It might. Well, yeah, you can kind of see it up there in the darkness a little bit. And it is just like shimmering. So cool. Man, it was crazy at the Airbnb we stayed at. I didn't have to sharpen the knives. Either somebody there sharpens them or they have like, you know, a pull through that they use or something. I didn't examine the edge or anything like that, but their knives were all sharp. I didn't bring anything to sharpen them with anyway. I was just going to use like the steel that was there. If they had one, and they didn't. I use quality knives to, well, somewhat better quality knives. They had Shun and Sabatier and a Henkel's. I didn't find the Shun until almost time to go. But I mean, they sell those at TJ Maxx and stuff. So I gouged it right there. And that's because I was not paying attention. And you can probably see, it looks like an X. Well, you can't really probably make out the X, but it's right there. That's just from a slight heavy return hand. So on the edge leading stroke, instead of letting up the pressure like I always do, I barely kept some pressure and it cut into the stone. Not much, but I'm going to need to lap it, which I planned on anyway. But I can actually feel it kind of bumping as I do this. So I'm going to try and stay on the outside of it just to avoid any edge damage. Try and do it that way. Okay, I think we're good. Yeah, it was a burr. We're good. We are gooched. Okay, guys. Let me wipe this off. I'm not going to deburr on the stone. Mostly because, well, no. Mostly because of that. I'm going to do this real fast. Actually, let's do the rust eraser, just because I gotta lap it anyway, so I'm not worried about it. Aye, she's clean again, Captain. Yeah, the 12K is like shorter and wider. Looks the same though, as far as the pattern and stuff goes. That's actually, so that was just surface level? Yeah, because that, I can't even feel it with my fingers anymore where I gouged it. So that's good to know. So that wasn't very severe at all. Get all this nastiness off of there. As you guys know, I'm OCD about my stones. Okay. I'm going to set her down. Oops. That doesn't sound good. Good thing about being splash and goes, you don't have to worry about them drying out for too awful long. Okay. Nice and dry. I'm going to hit them with a strop. Super quick. I'm just going to use my Hutsul's rough leather side here. Just going to do a couple quick little passes. The burr was so small, like it was minimal. I do want to look at it too. There we go. Surprised I haven't cut my finger doing that yet. I'm going to use the Carson Micro Bright here. We'll just see. Yeah, so I don't really see any evidence of a burr, at least in the spot I just looked. I'm going to just spot check up here. Same thing. Just a little movement, seems clear. Back here. Seems clear. So, no excuses for me. Let me feel. Yeah, I mean, she's bitey. Oh, yeah. Like one wrong move and I could probably slice my hand right open. All right, let's listen to the cut test. Make sure it doesn't sound like I got any nicks or anything. All the way through, just clean. Oops. How about trying it that way? Huh? Yeah, she is such. Let's do this. Daggum. Oops. Me and that heel, I'm telling you what, on every knife, I got to keep it out of the way. Yeah, even the center, the tip. All right, so I'm going to test the paper towel. All right, my favorite paper towels to hate on. Oh my God. And again, this may not have the tooth. Oh, it's cutting it. And these just suck. Yeah, we're cutting right through. Daggum it. That one's not. Let me do this. Like I say, I always leave in the BS. Even if it makes me look bad. There. So yeah, this thing is, yeah. Well, Stupid catching on that thing again. Yeah, I just cut myself. Yeah, so I'm not gonna do that anymore. Not right now. I just cut myself. So yeah, she's good to go. This thing, this will carve your turkey. This will chop down your tree in the backyard. I mean, I cut a little V because it bent over. So yeah, this is great. I mean, now for me, I'll take the 9K edge probably off. I probably won't do it right away because I don't want to like waste the material, you know, the knife steel. But I'll take it back down in a couple weeks of use, most likely. But with Aogami Super, as we know, I mean, it's going to last a little while. The edge geometry is very thin on this knife. That's factory. I didn't do anything to it. I didn't thin it out or anything yet. I don't really feel that I need to. It came really almost perfect. The only thing that I did need to do, there was a slight little bit of deburring that it needed. And that was only in that one section. And then plus this, the bevel was larger in the backside. So anyway, there you go. The 9K Morihei. What a great stone. Weird though that it felt, I'm not gonna say rougher. It felt a little less smooth than the 6K. So honestly, the 6K is probably all you need. For me, and most of what I do, 6K would be more than enough. Now, if you're doing single bevels, yes, you know, go up higher, which I will do that. So I'm going to use these for their more intended purpose, for the higher grits anyway. We're going to do my Yanagaba. I've got a Shirogami #2 Yanagaba and a Diva. I'm sorry if I butcher the crap out of those. But we're going to do a complete Shinogi and everything, polish, do the whole thing, and we'll test. I think I've got some sashimi I can get. We'll do some nice fish cuts with it and whatnot and check it out. But until then, yeah, I appreciate y'all tuning in. You guys are amazing. Be sure to check out the videos coming up. Like I said, this was more of a filler. This was just a quick thought of something to do because I didn't really have anything to put out right now because I'm working on it. But yeah, I appreciate you guys again. The last couple videos blew up. I really appreciate that. It means the world to me. So I'll probably see you on my birthday, which is Thursday, December 4th. And then this weekend, we're going to have some really, really cool stuff. I got some stuff that I can't say yet. But like I said, that KMFS thing is going to be, that blows my mind. If you haven't seen KMFS yet, look them up. Look up the KMFS Vanta Edge. There's videos out there by the manufacturer and some other people. It's a wicked, crazy, cool system. Until then, though, I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see you, well, on Thursday. Peace.